this video, we're going to take a look at the new features in Drupal 5. The first thing that most new users will notice is that Drupal now has an installer. With just one click, Drupal can install your database tables and get you started. Check out the installation video for more specifics about this process. The next thing that most people will notice is that Drupal has a new theme. This theme is called Garland, and it's got some really cool color changing configurations that I'll show you in a moment. With version 5, Drupal's administration pages have been completely reorganized in order to make the settings and configuration pages easier to find. You can view by grouping or by module, which includes links to each module's help pages, as well as any permissions, blocks, input formats, or menu items that the module may implement. This is really great for figuring out what a module does after you install it. Drupal 5 also introduces a great new status report page that gives a quick overview of any configuration problems your site might have. It will remind you if the cron job isn't getting run, as well as security problems such as incorrect system access permissions on your configuration file and stuff like that. Here I've got an error because my files directory does not exist yet. So when I go to the files page, it automatically creates the directory and it's getting the right permissions. So off we go. Let's take a look at Drupal's great new default theme and the really cool configuration options that come along with it. The jQuery JavaScript library is now part of Drupal core distribution, and it makes possible some really amazing user interface elements like the color picker here shown for the Garland theme. The entire color scheme for this theme is completely configurable. The site administrator can choose colors for background, text, and links, as well as gradient colors for the header. When you submit your choices, Drupal actually regenerates the graphics and CSS files on the server. You can see that you get a preview of your color choices right on the page. There are also some preset color palettes to get you started. Just choose your colors, then scroll down the bottom, hit save, and voila! New colors. Drupal's module pages have also been vastly improved with support for module groupings, dependencies, and even display of module version. The core modules are now all grouped together, as well as the required modules, which you can't turn off. And other modules, such as here we have the development modules and stuff like that, can be grouped together. Here we see the dependencies. Each module can display the modules that it depends on, or the modules which depend on it. And if you try and enable a module that requires another module that's not enabled, you'll be prompted to enable that module. Once a module is enabled that has other modules that are dependent on it, you won't be able to turn off that module until you turn off the dependent modules first. It makes more sense when you actually do it. There's also this new uninstall system. If you wanted to completely uninstall the tables that a module has installed, keep your database nice and clean, you disable the module, and then you can go in and uninstall the module tables, just like that. Drupal's content, user, and comment listing pages now finally have a check all box. I don't really have enough content on my demo site to give you a real feel for this, but it's also possible to shift-click the checkboxes to select a range of items. For anyone that's ever had to delete comment spam on a Drupal site, this is a godsend. The user page is also now sortable and filterable so that you can see users that have just a given permission. This page also has the check all box and the same shift-click functionality to select a range of users and update them with specific options. Some of the elements of the Content Construction Kit, also known as CCK, have made their way into Drupal core, and it's now possible to create as many custom content types as you would like. We can create a new content type called News Article, which Drupal will refer to as an article internally. You can add a description for it. You can also change the way that the title and body are labeled on the node creation form. So we'll call the title headline and leave the body called body. Turn off comments for this. And now we have a new content type called News Article. You can do this for as many items as you would like. CCK now takes the role of adding extra fields to any node type rather than creating the node types itself. The CCK modules are a separate download that you can find on Drupal.org. With jQuery now part of core, we've also got some subtle user interface changes like these animated collapsible field sets. Autocomplete fields have also been rewritten using jQuery. Look for lots of new user interface and AJAX type tricks coming to Drupal in the future. Another subtle but nice change is the inclusion of the URL filter input format in core now. By enabling this filter, all entered email addresses and web addresses and that type of thing will be automatically converted into links, href links in HTML speak, and you can also limit the length of the URL displayed on the page so it doesn't blow out your design when someone puts in a really long URL. There are also a lot of performance-related improvements that are part of Drupal 5. One simple improvement is that 404 error pages no longer contain block regions. This saves on the overhead of calculating those regions on pages that essentially say, "There's nothing here." Another performance improvement is the addition of what's called aggressive caching, which essentially bootstraps even less of Drupal for cached pages for anonymous users. Drupal also has the ability to aggregate the different CSS files provided by the different modules. All these files get aggregated into one file in one download, which obviously improves performance quite a bit. Major versions of Drupal seem to be coming out more than once a year. This new version of Drupal offers lots of improvements, particularly in the areas of performance, usability, theming, and user interface. The addition of jQuery and the beginnings of the Content Construction Kit are paving the way for even bigger things in the future. The Drupal community is vibrant and growing, and more large sites are realizing the power of this free web application framework and content management system. Let's take a look at some prominent Drupal sites.